They have gone completely gasless. You heard that right. So I'm really excited about having a look at these. So that is induction hob, that is, I think they've even got a microwave in here that runs off the battery too. I think it's still diesel heating, which fair enough, but it must have a super big battery to be running that and some funky power going on, similar to what Will showed you earlier on those panels. So let's go take a look and see what they've done inside this van.
So Spencer, hi, really good to meet you. Thank you for inviting us into your amazing T7. And I tell you what, this is like nothing else here, I have to say.
Great.
And you've agreed on the channel to just give us a quick tour of the brief of what you did, what you were thinking of when you decided you were going to do a T7. Tell us all about it.
Well, I think it was really important when you're given a new chassis, not to just put yesterday's conversion and yesterday's technology into the new body shell.
Yeah, makes sense.
Because the idea of a new camper van or motorhome is not just a new set of car keys or keys. The idea is that the contents within. If you were going to take a Volkswagen camper van, this sector, and improve it, what would you have as a tick list?
Yeah.
So development on this product we're sat in today started 7 years ago.
Wow.
Yeah. It feels like it too, because there are things on the tick list that really wrote the brief. So I wanted a rail floor system, but standard, because I thought, in reality, they should have a cargo dynamic storage bay where people can put bikes and all the other things. But that should really be a standard item now, not an upgrade. It's a bit of a given. Camper vans are at a high price point, and they need to meet those sorts of minimum prerequisites. They should have 3 seats in the back for 3 passengers and standard Isofix, because they are utilised by families largely. Again, not optional, standard, it should be the case. And as we've got in this one, there's an additional rail which allows us to fit secondary jump seats. So you can have an additional jump seat. So if you ended up needing to take 7 or 8 passengers, you can actually have occasional chairs which are put in, all tested. So you can turn your camper van into a minibus for parties and sports trips with the kids' sports teams and so on. So that was one. Then there is the concept of new power systems, where I think these vehicles are very popular with lots of people because they're quick and dynamic and easy to drive, and you can park at the beach. But they still have the same sort of Achilles heel as big motorhomes and caravans, and they're still dependent on some form of power and grid support or gas system and so on. And the idea was to liberate it and over-spec the power system so that if you go to the beach or go up the mountain or deepest, darkest woodland, you could essentially decide to stay there. So you say, well, we're having a great time. Let's stay home a couple of nights. Or, you get home from work on a Friday night and go, do you know, I've had enough this week. It's been a hell of a week. Let's go. But let's do that NC 500 trip we've been promising ourselves. Because we can. We don't need to book anywhere. We can freewheel, but really do it. Not sort of do it. Not hope the weather's good enough. So that all hinges around the van having a large enough core.
So that sounds like big battery and everything else that goes with it then.
Huge. So we've done a lot of testing. You also need inverter support for 240 volts. So if you're doing it, you have to do it. You can't sort of do a halfway house on power. All in. So where we ended up to meet the brief was a standard starting amp hour of 300 with a 120 watt new solar shadow flux solar panel.
All lithium, presumably.
Yes, lithium on the battery. So that's Renergy's core range as our standard startup. We then do a pro level 500 amp hour medium sort of stepping stone upgrade from that.
500 being medium.
Medium.
Wow.
Halfway house. And then we do a
What's the full fat then?
Well, the full fat, which I'm still getting funny looks from the engineers over, is 1,000 amp hour of the pro system with 2 120 watt solar panels. So this van with the lights and the fridge on, with no solar, no engine running, no cable, was giving me just under 24 days of usage with those appliances on. And
So this is the 1,000 in here.
This is the 1,000
yeah,
here.
wow.
So, and the Renogy engineers that came over from the Far East said you do realise you could run a 4-bedroom domestic property. And I said, well, that was the brief. The fact is that I, in an old-fashioned way, wanted customers to be able to operate the system with sort of 2 buttons. Green, I want it to work.
Yeah.
I'm done now, red button off.
Yeah.
And then come back to go camping again, and it's optimised and charged without really the limitation of how long you went for or what you did. And that, I still don't feel that that's really hit the marketplace. I think to have that much resource takes all the work out.
I don't think I've sat in a pop-top camper like this which has ever had that much
I think
power
it's
in
twice
before.
twice as
massive.
much as you'll ever see.
That is massive.
And that's
obviously You've gone all in with no gas or anything like that in any of these.
With that much power, it renders gas. Gas becomes an obstacle, not a benefit.
So you've got an induction
hobs, main 240 volt marine and automotive grade microwave. You can pop your air fryer in. I've run heat guns, air fryers, microwaves and induction hobs all at the same time in this vehicle. It's days and days and days, because the simplest part of the brief is I don't want you to have to think about it.
Yeah.
It's just turn it on, use it.
It's really.
And the last thing we've done is we've developed a hot water system based on the diesel heater.
Okay.
So we've turned the diesel heater into a combi boiler.
Oh wow.
And because it's fed from the fuel tank and only needs a small amount of 12-volt power, you've now got off-grid hot water
as well.
on demand. So amazing. You can stay at the beach for 4 or 5 days and have hot showers. So the combination of that, going back to the sort of Renogy partnership around power, is that really anchors all the other resources off of it.
Yeah.
When you've got that much capacity, everything else is open
all the doors
to
everything. It's
Wi-Fi, Starlink, all of it's great. And if you've got insurmountable power, it all works.
Amazing. Well, what an incredible van it really is. Just the fit and finish in here, the quality of it, you can feel it when you're inside the van.
That's
it's
great.
Absolutely beautiful. Camper King.
Okay.
Just what they've done in terms of concept for that van, in terms of being completely off-grid, completely self-sustaining from the electrics. I've never sat in a pop-top camper which has got 1,000 amp hours of lithium. I mean, bonkers.
And they did show us a video of it back in the factory where they were boiling a kettle, running the microwave and a heat gun.
Absolutely.
All at the same time. Now, I'm not entirely convinced as to whether there'd be any point when you would ever need to do that, but it does prove a point.
Crazy.
Yeah.
But yeah, lovely vans. Great that it's on a T7 now. Yeah, very, very interesting.